The sheriff's second chance. The scream tore through the Montana night like a bullet through glass. Wade Morrison dropped the branding iron and ran toward the barn, his heart hammering. He'd heard plenty of screams in his 33 years, but this one carried a different kind of terror, high-pitched, young, and coming from his property. He burst through the barn doors, Colt revolver drawn, and stopped cold. A woman stood in the loft opening, silhouetted against the moon, pitchfork gripped in both hands. Below her, his prize stallion reared and screamed, eyes rolling white with panic. Pressed against the far wall, frozen in fear, was his daughter Lily. "Don't move," he barked at the woman. She whirled. "Then you better tell that devil horse to stand down before he tramples your child." Wade didn't hesitate. He fired a shot into the ceiling beam close enough to get the stallion's attention, far enough not to hit anything important. The horse wheeled toward him, and Wade used every ounce of authority in his voice. "Storm, down." After a long moment, the stallion dropped his head and backed into his stall. Wade holstered his gun and scooped Lily into his arms. "You hurt, sweetheart?" "No, Papa. I just wanted to give Storm an apple." He carried her outside, then looked up at the woman. "Are you planning to come down or should I send up breakfast?" "That depends on whether you're planning to shoot me for trespassing." "Haven't decided yet." He set Lily down. "Go back to the house now." When his daughter was safely away, he turned back to the barn. "You've got 30 seconds to explain why you're in my barn in the middle of the night." "I am the sheriff." The woman climbed down the ladder with surprising grace. When she stepped into the lamplight, Wade felt something shift in his chest. She was tall, with dark hair escaping from a braid and eyes the color of whiskey. She wore men's trousers, a gun belt, and a star pinned to her vest. "Since when does Laurel County have a female sheriff?" 3 weeks ago, when my father took a bullet meant for someone else." Her voice stayed steady, but he caught the tremor underneath. "Jack Thornton's my father. I'm Catherine Thornton." Wade remembered hearing about Sheriff Thornton getting shot during a bank robbery. "That doesn't explain what you're doing here." "The men who shot my father are hiding in these hills. I tracked one of their horses to your property line." "And you thought you'd do some midnight investigating without asking permission?" Her eyes flashed. "That horse is dangerous. You shouldn't let a child anywhere near him." "That horse is perfectly safe when people don't sneak into his barn in the dark and startle him," Wade said. "Come at dawn. I'll show you the south pasture myself." She paused at the door. "Is that a threat, Mr. Morrison?" "It's a promise. And it's just Morrison." Catherine returned at dawn as promised, this time riding through the front gate like a civilized person. She'd brought fresh bread from Mrs. Lynn's bakery as a peace offering. Inside the house, Lily was making breakfast. When she saw Catherine, her eyes went wide. "You're the lady from the barn, and you're the brave girl who tried to give Storm an apple." Catherine moved to the stove and gently took the spatula. "That took courage. But brave and foolish often go together. Here, flip them like this." Wade watched as his daughter followed the sheriff's instructions, face glowing with concentration. Lily needed a woman's guidance. He did his best, but there were things he couldn't teach her, things she'd never learn from a grieving widower who barely kept his head above water most days. After breakfast, they rode to the south pasture. Catherine studied the ground with a tracker's eye. 3 horses, maybe 4 days ago. They came down from the high country, followed your fence west, then cut back into the trees. "Could be the Dawson gang," she continued. "They hit the bank in Helena, shot my father, and disappeared into the mountains." "The old Fletcher line shack," Wade said. "About 6 miles through those trees. Been abandoned since old man Fletcher died." Catherine's eyes lit up. "Can you show me?" "You need backup." "I'll bring him in with or without help." Wade grabbed her bridle. "This isn't about your father. This is about you having something to prove." They stared at each other, tension crackling between them. Her eyes blazed with something desperate and fierce that called to the hollow place inside him. "I promise," she said finally, "that I'll do whatever it takes to keep my town safe." She pulled her horse free and rode toward the gate, leaving Wade with an uncomfortable certainty. Catherine Thornton was going to ride into danger, and there wasn't a damn thing he could do to stop her. 3 days later, Catherine returned at dusk, slumped in her saddle, her left arm wrapped in a bloody bandage. What the hell happened? Wade ran to catch her as she swayed. Found the Dawsons. Got one of them. She tried to dismount and nearly fell. Wade caught her, his arms closing around her waist. Easy. I've got you. Inside, he cleaned and bandaged her wound while Lily boiled water. You should have come for backup, he said. I told you. You told me not to do anything stupid. He met her eyes. Got Marcus Dawson in custody. And the others? Still out there. Lily appeared, face pale. Is the sheriff going to die, Papa? No, sweetheart. She's too stubborn for that. When Lily left to heat stew, Catherine leaned back, exhausted. Why'd you go alone? Wade asked. Because I'm the sheriff. It's my job. Your job is to keep the peace, not get yourself killed proving you're as tough as your father. You don't know anything about. I know what grief looks like. The words came out rough. I know what it's like to feel like you failed someone. My wife Rebecca got fever 2 winters back. I was in town that day, taking my time. If I'd come home sooner, it wouldn't have mattered, Catherine said softly. Fever doesn't wait. Maybe. But I wasn't there when she needed me. Same way you weren't there when your father got shot. He held her gaze. We can't change the past, but we can stop punishing ourselves for it. She blinked rapidly. I was supposed to be on duty that day, but I switched shifts because I wanted to visit the milliner in Helena. Bought a stupid hat while my father nearly bled to death. It's not your fault. Tell that to the voice in my head. Wade moved to sit beside her, close enough that their shoulders nearly touched. I still hear Rebecca calling for me sometimes. In my dreams, asking where I am. They sat in silence, 2 broken people holding their grief between them like something fragile and sharp. When Catherine tried to stand, Wade stopped her. Stay tonight. You're in no shape to ride. She searched his face. Whatever she saw there made her nod. Just tonight. Just tonight, he agreed, knowing it was a lie. Something had shifted between them, something that felt like the beginning of something neither was ready to name. Catherine stayed 3 nights. The 3rd night, they sat on the porch watching stars, and she told him about growing up in her father's shadow, always trying to prove herself. I wanted to make him proud, she said. You did what 10 men couldn't do, Wade replied. You tracked the Dawson gang and brought Marcus Dawson to justice. That's not proving yourself, that's doing your job better than anyone else could. She turned to look at him, vulnerability mixed with hope in her eyes. You really believe that? I believe you're the most capable, stubborn, infuriating woman I've ever met. And I'm damn glad you survived. The air between them felt charged. Wade found himself leaning forward, drawn by something he couldn't resist. Lily's voice shattered the moment. Papa, there's someone riding up. Deputy Hayes burst into view. Sheriff Thornton, the Dawson brothers just rode into town. They're holed up in the saloon with hostages, saying they'll burn it down if we don't release Marcus. Catherine's face went hard. I'm coming. Not alone, Wade said. This is my responsibility. Then I'm making it mine too. He looked at Lily. Go to the Patterson ranch. Stay there until I come for you. Lily hugged him fiercely, then ran to saddle her pony. You don't have to do this, Catherine said. You made it my fight when you collapsed bleeding on my doorstep. He checked his rifle. Besides, someone needs to keep you from getting yourself killed. I don't need a hero. Good. Because I'm not one. I'm just a rancher who's tired of people he cares about getting hurt. The words hung between them, loaded with meaning. They approached through the saloon's back entrance. Owen, the owner, let them in. They've got 5 women hostage. The brothers are drinking and getting mean. Through the doorway, they heard rough laughter and muffled sobs. On my signal, Catherine whispered. I'll take the 2 on the left. You take the one by the door. She counted down. They burst through together. Nobody moves. Catherine's voice cracked like a whip. Put your weapons down now. The Dawson brothers went for their guns. Wade fired first, taking the nearest man in the shoulder. Catherine's shots echoed. One brother went down clutching his leg. The third dove behind the bar. Wade shoved Catherine behind the piano as shots splintered the wood. "Cover me," she hissed, and before he could stop her, she was moving. "Damn stubborn woman." Wade fired, keeping the outlaw pinned. Catherine vaulted over the bar, landing on the man's back. They went down hard. When Wade reached them, she had her gun pressed to the outlaw's temple. "Don't move." Deputy Hayes arrived with reinforcements. The hostages were escorted home safely. Through it all, Catherine moved with calm efficiency. Riding back at dawn, she finally sagged in her saddle. "I'm so damn tired, Wade." "Then let me carry some of it," he said. "The weight you're carrying, you don't have to do it alone. I don't know how to be anything else." "Neither did I." He reached across, taking her hand. "Maybe we could teach each other." She stared at their joined hands, eyes bright. "I'm not easy to love, Morrison. I'm stubborn and reckless. I'm not easy either. I'm closed off and overprotective." He squeezed her fingers. "But maybe that's what makes us work. We understand each other's broken pieces. I'm not asking for forever," he continued. "Just a chance to see where this goes." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I want that. But what about Lily? Lily needs someone who will teach her to be brave and strong and capable. Someone exactly like you." He kissed her then, soft and slow, tasting promise and new beginnings. "I'm falling for you," she whispered. "Hard and fast and completely terrifying." "Good. Because I already fell the moment you stood in my barn with a pitchfork, ready to take on the world." They married 6 weeks later in a simple ceremony. The whole town turned out, ranchers, shopkeepers, miners, and farmers cheering when Wade kissed his bride. At the reception, Lily pulled Catherine aside. "Does this mean you're my mama now?" Catherine knelt. "It means I'm your family, and I'll always be here for you." Lily threw her arms around her neck. "It's perfect." Wade watched them, his heart full. 2 years ago, he'd been broken and alone. Now he had a wife who challenged him and kissed him like she was claiming his soul. He had a daughter learning to be strong from the best possible teacher. He had a family, a real one, built from loss and courage and the stubborn refusal to give up on second chances. Happy. Catherine appeared at his elbow. Beyond words. He kissed her temple. Terrified, excited, complete. "I never thought I could have this," she said. "A home, a family, someone who sees all my sharp edges and loves me anyway. I love you because of your sharp edges." He pulled her close. "Every stubborn, beautiful, dangerous inch of you." Outside, the Montana sun set in a blaze of gold and crimson. Tomorrow, Catherine would pin on her badge and ride out to keep the territory safe. Tomorrow, Wade would work his ranch and worry about his wife. But tonight, they danced under paper lanterns while fiddles played. Tonight, they were just a man and a woman who'd found each other in the darkness and refused to let go. Tonight, and for all the nights to come, they were home.